Welcome to JWL Sports, where we review all the best sports clips from around the country. Now, you're probably wondering, why should I watch over here instead of over there? Because over there, they don't care about anything you have to say. They don't respect us. They say this all the time, that we have no idea what we're talking about, that we're just a bunch of clowns in the comments section on Twitter. I mean, they say this honestly at least once a week. But I think it's the opposite. I think we know exactly what we're talking about. So I read every single comment. Whether you think I'm saying is the most ridiculous thing in the world, let me know in the comments below. If you think I'm saying which is awesome, then definitely let me know in the comments below. Either way, let's get into some discussions, let's get into some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. I'm trying so hard to build an amazing community here, and honestly, we're already doing it. It's turning into something truly, truly special, and I really believe we can build something that we all feel connected to. I want to build something that we feel is bigger than ourselves, something that we're really proud and excited to be part of. And honestly, we're already well on our way to doing this, and it's really just, it's beyond my dreams so far. And I just want something that we all can be so excited for. So I'm trying my best to create that, to feel like we're actually connected. Because my bet is that you don't feel connected in some of these other channels. And I want to break that. So without further ado, let's get to it. We're with first things first. Nick Wright reacting to, the Bills. And, he famously said, and this is what's going to be crazy, because I'm going to be doing a bunch of first things first episodes today. And he obviously was right about a couple things this season, but he has been so wrong on so many things. And he was so wrong about the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, okay? Because he said the Buffalo Bills have zero chance at making the playoffs. Zero chance, okay? Well, interesting, because the Bills now have a higher seed than his beloved Kansas City Chiefs, okay? He also said, Patrick Mahomes deserves to be the MVP because of such nonsense reasons, just because of his past, okay? Now we have Josh Allen, who has clearly played better than Patrick Mahomes because he clearly has led his team to a higher seed. He has played better from a QB statistical standpoint, and yet he didn't win doesn't have a Pro Bowl, which doesn't make any sense, because why do they vote for Pro Bowls like before the whole season has happened? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why have 17 games if you're not even going to count all 17 games for some of these awards? Doesn't make any sense to me. But let's get to it. Let's see Nick, see how he tries to justify this, because he's going to be talking in circles. I'll be really interested to see if he admits it, but my guess is he's going to try to be like, yeah, they won, but they're still bad. So I don't know. Let's find out.
It might
Just
be
like it's upset alert. Trust me.
today.
Trust me.
See? Already. Buckle up for the Josh Allen roller coaster. Ups, downs, and a final destination as the 2 seed. Are the Bills the most dangerous team in the playoffs? Meanwhile, oh no, old 2 toes. After being 10 toes down on the Eagles, Drew downgraded to 2. Is he ready to officially brotherly shove Philly out of his playoff predictions? And finally, Dak takes care of his last tomato can and basically says S-Bob. That's not even a sentence.
Yeah,
no one knows what I'm talking about,
Right,
because you've invented this whole world.
S-Bob.
Takes care of his last tomato can
Dak
and
knows what
says
I'm talking
S-Bob.
about.
Yeah,
Dak is with me. Dak knows exactly what I'm talking about.
For new
So is
viewers,
Mike.
I apologize. Just try to stay with us. It's
Yeah.
like coming into Game of Thrones,
You don't want
episode
no
5.
division.
Like, what is this exactly?
Division cap? No, I'm S-Bob. That's what he said.
Nick Wright, Kevin Wilds, Chris Broussard. We're just going to start the show.
Good idea.
It's going to be a treat. We start again with the roller coaster of the Bills. Josh Allen throws 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions while losing a fumble and running for almost 70 yards. Bills win out post-bye 5 in a row. You predicted that? Did you call that? Here's Josh Allen.
6-6. We knew what was in front of us. Had a lot of internal talks. Trusted the guys in this locker room, and at the end of the day, this is fun. This is cool. I'll never say no to winning a division. But the only thing that it solidifies is a home game and one more game. So it doesn't mean anything if we go out there next week and don't do our job. So we gotta find a way to put our best foot forward and go find a victory next week.
I mean, it's a nice T-shirt. Do you owe Bills fans an apology? Oh,
I do.
wow. Is this a
I do-
sarcastic
This
thing?
is.
Well,
Yeah,
let's
it's
just
not
wait
gonna be
until
real.
let's just wait.
Okay.
No, it's not. I do owe Bills Mafia an apology. Apology might be strong, but I was wrong. I flatly did not think they could rip off 5 straight wins. And the reason I didn't was because I did not trust Josh Allen to keep it together for 5 straight games. And the crazy thing is, he didn't, but
See?
they did. And that is, in a way,
defense has
well, a lot of things. That is, in a way, more impressive. Josh Allen did not get on a 5-game peak roller coaster heater. That is not why they won these games. I would argue yesterday, and I know we'll discuss it throughout the show, was a perfect microcosm for the full Josh Allen experience.
And he said that.
He said for their
said it,
season,
so,
and I'm
yeah.
talking about for him personally.
Yeah.
It's just 3, you've got to be kidding me plays, and 3, you've got to be kidding me plays. And so for the Buffalo Bills, despite injuries, despite absurd turnovers by their best player, despite a weird situation going on with their second best player, Stephon Diggs, over the course of these entire winning streak, despite, in my opinion, not playing very well each of the last 3 games for large sections of it, found a way to win. And much like I said after...
So this is what I don't understand, and this is what annoys me so much about Nick. Josh Allen has better statistics than Patrick Mahomes this season. No ifs, ands, or buts. They're either equal or Josh Allen is better. Not to mention, Josh Allen has this entire section that Patrick Mahomes doesn't even have in terms of rushing yards and rushing touchdowns, okay? Which is like it's like literally, it's just like practically like zeros, not exactly zeros, but like pretty much like nothing for Patrick Mahomes. And then you have Josh Allen as being, at the top. So if he's saying all of that about Josh Allen, then he has to say that about Patrick Mahomes. How can someone have the same number, and now it's a little bit different because Josh Allen has, played another game, and so he has more touchdowns, but then also more interceptions, but it's still within range. And yet he says that Patrick Mahomes, he admits that Patrick Mahomes didn't play his best year, but he doesn't act like Patrick Mahomes has been playing like roller coaster and terrible and this or that. So how can both things be true then, right? That doesn't make sense. That's Nick Wright's bias that drives me personally crazy. And that's why anytime I ever say that I'm an Eagles fan, that I say I don't see it through that lens of that bias, right? I'm not telling you all that Jalen Hurts had a great season, or you know what, it wasn't his best season, but it was still really good, or I'm not twisting these things. And so it doesn't make any sense. The fact that he can't just say, like, what Josh Allen did yesterday was amazing. Yes, he has turnovers. That's because he's asked to do so much for the Buffalo Bills. He's asked to do so much, and yes, the defense has stepped up. Not disputing that. I'm not disputing that at all. But pretty sure Kansas City Chiefs have a top defense as well, right? Isn't it like top 3 in the league, or within that range? So again, but Josh Allen has a brand new offensive coordinator, and his original offensive coordinator was fired midseason. I mean, that adversity alone is crazy. His head coach is on the hot seat, who's has nothing to do with the offense, just defense, and so that's already hard enough when you're a star quarterback. Again, had his own controversy, had this massive, report, this article, however we want to describe it, was written about him. Article feels too short. It was like practically like a novel online that was pretty much ripping him apart and talking about the whole thing, how he made these weird comments about terrorism. And I don't want to linger on that because we've all made stupid comments, and I'm sure in his mind originally he thought it was really smart and interesting. It was just trying to create a way to inspire him. So I'm not going to pile on that. But regardless, it was still something that the team had to answer. It was still adversity. It was still something. And Josh Allen survived all of that. And the Bills rallied together, and they rally behind Josh Allen. And like they said on the broadcast last night, about Brett Favre throwing all those interceptions, and it's because like they knew, he was saying, Collinsworth was saying that like they had to live or die by Brett Favre. They were going to win the game only because of Brett Favre throwing it and making that, winning it for the Packers. And that's what happens with the Bills and Josh Allen. He is asked to be Superman every single time. I mean, do you see he had to run through brick walls? Even when they were already up by 7 and there was only a couple minutes left, they still needed to rely on Josh Allen to just put his head down and sacrifice his body. Patrick Mahomes is not doing that. Jalen Hurts is not doing. I mean, really, the only other player that's doing that is Lamar Jackson. And every time you see it, you're like, no, please, like, don't get hurt. And that's what these defensive head coaches always do. They like sacrifice their quarterbacks. I mean, you saw it with Cam Newton, as one of commenter wrote, last night, saying that it reminded him of, Cam Newton, and Cam Newton didn't survive. He got broken eventually. His body just couldn't handle it anymore, and that's what I'm afraid will happen to Josh Allen. But Patrick Mahomes couldn't do what Josh Allen did last night. Really the only other player that I see really was able to do that would have been Lamar Jackson, because there's just so much of ass. It's not to say that Patrick Mahomes can't win with the Bills, right? I'm not saying that. I'm not telling you that Patrick Mahomes is a trash quarterback, but really my argument is that if you're going to say that Patrick Mahomes is so great, look what Josh Allen is doing with significantly less and more adversity. Let me know when Patrick Mahomes doesn't have an elite Hall of Fame head coach, Andy Reid. Let me know when his offensive coordinator just gets fired midseason and then they still rip off, all these wins. And even if his offensive coordinator did get fired, he still has Andy Reid, who is the backbone of the offense to begin with, So, which is not the case when you have a defensive head coach. Like, your offensive coordinator is your entire offense, at that point. So those are some big moments of adversity that Josh Allen was able to overcome. And again, those turnovers are not only because he's asked to do so much, but because the ball's in his hand all the time. So, of course, you're going to have those turnovers because it's just going to happen. And I've said this, before, but it's, LeBron James is like an all-time leader, one of the all-time leaders in turnovers. And it's not because he's bad with the ball or because he's careless and he's a bad passer. In fact, it's the opposite. And it's pretty much universally seen that he's, the best passer ever. And then he's got the best court vision ever, better than Magic Johnson. But the ball's in his hand so much that he's obviously going to get turnovers. And so that's kind of what happens with, with Josh Allen. Does Josh Allen have things that he needs to work on and clean up? Absolutely. But a lot of that comes when you have a good offensive coordinator, a good offensive head coach. When you have that, when he had Brian Daboll, his interceptions and turnovers went way down. Daboll left and, he was back to doing this. And it's just different. And again, that's the luxury that some of these other great quarterbacks have had in the past, most notably, of course, Patrick Mahomes.
After the Cowboys had an ugly win when the Eagles also had an ugly win. The Cowboys beat Detroit when the Eagles lost. And I said, none of it matters because now they're the 2 seed. If you're Buffalo, you had waved long goodbye to the 1 seed a long time ago. Your best case scenario as far as playoff seeding is what you got. And so, yeah, I will give credit to the Bills organization. I give credit to the defense. I give credit to Josh for, despite making such knucklehead decision to end the first half. His coach called him out in the typical throwaway halftime interview where they don't say anything. His coach like, you can't do that. Found a way. So, yeah, I mean, I was wrong that they were 0% to make the playoffs. They made the playoffs and they're the 2 seed, so credit to them.
Look, if Josh Allen, and I know he became like the 3rd player ever to throw for 350 yards, complete 75% of your passes, and run for more than 50 yards.
Do you guys not know how amazing that is? That's what I'm trying to say. That is amazing. Yes, he threw some bad interceptions, but he also did unbelievable things. And one of those interceptions is misleading because it was essentially like a punt. Like he was just launching it up and just saying, someone go get it. It's either, when they went for it on fourth down. So it was just like, whatever. So that interception really does not count. I mean, under other circumstances, he probably wouldn't have, just launched that up and just said, hello. In fact, the fact that they intercepted it actually hurt the Dolphins rather than help them.
Or more yards. I still don't think he played a good game. If he gave them a B- game, this is 48-20 part 2. If he just plays a B- game, I think it's a blowout. You know, and like he left, obviously you had the first interception, which was ridiculous. I mean, he's looking this way the whole time and just throws it without even looking.
It's true.
It's not even close to Gabe Davis. And so then you had the second interception. Both of them were the first was in the red zone at the 5-yard line. The second when they were at the Dolphins 35. So he took at least 6 points, probably say 10, but maybe 14 points off the board.
Well,
all right, and then that's not even
the
mention the
No, see, that doesn't make sense because they went for it on 4th down and they were just going for broke that moment. I mean, look where I paused it. There's no one open. Like maybe technically, if you're going to say he's going to break that tackle and then he's going to maybe just be able to run for the first down, but this was literally just go for broke, just launching it. You can see a pause. It's not like he had a check down for the first down that he could have gotten. So this was just touchdown or nothing. And he was being flushed out of the pocket and just had to launch it up. So that's you can't just give that 6 points. That doesn't make any sense.
Before the half, that's 3.
Yep.
So
see,
they go
there's no way. He didn't have a
14-7
chance.
at the half, and they could have been up by 10 points at the half. The hero, and look, Josh certainly did his great things. Like you said, he ran the football terrifically, all right? But the hero was Deontay Hardy. If he doesn't return that punt for a touchdown, I'm not sure they win. I mean, it's after that Josh started playing well. He had some decent runs before, but it was after that he really started cooking. And so, look, to me, this change, it's great that they're the 2nd seed if you're a Bills fan.
So that punt return, this is why I always say I don't like to predict games. And I've kind of, started making some predictions, and I really don't like it because no one would have predicted a 96-yard punt return for a touchdown for the Bills. You just can't factor that in. No one's factor. Or the fact that the one touchdown pass hit the Dolphins' helmet. I think it was a Dolphins' helmet. It was definitely someone's helmet. Launches in the air, and he's still able to keep his feet in and catch the touchdown. I mean, no one's predicting that. And that's the type of play where that easily could have just gone out of bounds, so no, it's not a touchdown. Or it could have been intercepted by the Dolphins. And who knows, maybe it gets intercepted and that gets run back. So those are those things that you just can't ever count. So in terms of, I love it. I don't know why it's so common these days for people to predict, I believe that the Bills are going to win 27-24, and you're just like, where are you coming up with this? It's just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I can understand how Vegas is kind of doing it because they obviously have to, but in terms of some of these other, analysts and, just, personalities on TV and stuff, it's just, they're just making it up, or they're just saying whatever their smart analytics team is telling them to say because, like I said, the predictions are just crazy.
Obviously, it's great that they're in, first of all. But you have no idea if they're going to be great next week or if they're going to be bad.
Alan, the season before and after Joe Brady became the offensive coordinator, because we thought that was kind of a desperation move, similar to how we kind of ripped the Eagles for switching out or switching in Matt Patricia. This seems to have worked. They're 6-1. His completion percentage is down
a lot.
Yeah, but is this Joe Brady saying, you know what?
Where he's rushing more,
a little more Clark Kent, a little less Superman.
No,
and this has
really not. It is. They're running the ball a lot more.
Yes, but it's not like they are dialing up easier passes for him. They are running it. You're right. They're taking the ball out of his hands more. But I don't know if we can put that back up or not. But his completion percentage dropping from 70 to 60 is wild. Yeah. The passer rating dropping. The turnover rate stayed the exact same. And I'm doing math in my head real quick. The touchdown rate dropped just a tiny bit. And so, no, I think that they are winning these games in part because the defense has been playing better, and they are running the ball way better, and Josh is running the ball more. The break glass in case of emergency the Bills have always had is you have the most athletically imposing quarterback in the league. Athletically imposing. What do you mean?
More than Lamar?
If you count size.
No, I'm talking about...
Well, and that's why he steps a step above Lamar, just because Josh Allen has proved to be that he could be more physical, more durable, and not get banged up as much. Lamar has in the past gotten banged up as much, and don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking Lamar, obviously, but that is the thing. But I used this analogy in another video, and I'm going to use it again. the Bills, it's so interesting because Acho was saying, or I forget who was saying, that the Bills are the scariest team in the NFL. And I wouldn't say that the Bills are necessarily the scariest team in the NFL. This is who the Bills are. The Bills, you have two types of scary movies, okay? One, you have one where you see the murderer's face outside of the whole, supernatural type stuff. You see the murderer's face. It's a guy, you see him, he's like, I'm going to come and get you, right? And then you have the masked, murderers, okay? Now, in real life, someone sneaks into your house and they're wearing a mask, like a ghost face mask or something like that. At first, you might be like, who is that? Is that Joey? Joey, are you messing around? Like, Joey, what are you doing wearing that mask? And you see this in movies, right? Like, even in the actual movies they're always like, who is that? Who is that? Right? So you're kind of like, I don't know, like, are you going to murder me? Or are you like, who are you? Right? Your heart's probably beating a little faster, but you're just like, wait, what's going on here? Right? You're like a little hesitant. And then you have another situation where now a complete stranger who you don't know who they are, they're in your house. You're immediately like, who the F are you right now? Who are you? What do you want? Right? And you're like already reaching your phone to call 911, looking for a weapon around, right? So to me, the Bills, they're a masked killer. You don't know who they are, okay? Are they going to kill you? Are they going to take the mask off and be like, surprise, it's me, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever, your son, the neighbor, the friend? Or is it like, surprise, I have a knife, I'm coming after you? You don't know what's going to happen with the Bills. And that's honestly just what makes it kind of exciting. You're right, the Bills play the Steelers. I'm confident that they'll beat the Steelers because the Steelers just don't have an offense. They just really don't. And their defense, obviously, if Watt, I don't know if Watt's going to be able to play. I mean, that's just unfortunate situation, but I don't think people have strong sense that the Steelers can win this game, unless they just really lay an egg for the Bills. But if the Bills now play, say, the Ravens, or they play the Chiefs and stuff like that, I think you just really don't know. It is a question mark because, yes, I agree. The Bills definitely could have lost this game. Things could have gone the other way. But again, we could say that about virtually, all of these, a lot of these big games. Really, like, some of the only true convincing victories were, the only true convincing victory for me of two great teams was the Ravens crushing the 49ers. And I'm going to talk about this in other future videos today that I'll be recording with regards to the Cowboys, with regards to the Eagles and stuff like this. The way how the season has panned out, we used other games as references of like, look how good this team is, and it has not panned out that way as the whole season has come, to a close. So to me, the only true, undeniable, unquestionable victory was the Ravens punching the mouth of the 49ers. So that's just my thoughts on this. But what do you all think? Do you think Josh Allen is an elite quarterback? Do you think Josh Allen is overblown, not that good? They're winning in spite of Josh Allen. I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. So please definitely let me know. I will read them all. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community and it's really turning into something special. And I really want you all to feel connected and part of it and excited to be part of it and to be proud to be part of it. So thank you so much and see you next time.